happening in it.
Right. So this is a world that feels, well, unnervingly close to our own.
Yeah.
It's set in a near future where these AI-powered wearable lenses, just called blinks,
Yeah.
they've completely replaced smartphones. Completely.
Wow.
So imagine all digital communication, all searches, every single financial transaction. It's all happening seamlessly, invisibly.
Welcome to whttr, Who Has Time to Read? The podcast that brings deep dives for busy minds. You're listening to our Indie Ink Spotlight series, where we lift up bold voices and unsung stories from the world of independent authors. Join our AI hosts, Jane and Dane, as they explore featured works that deserve the mic. From hidden gems to raw revelations, these are the stories that move beneath the mainstream. Who has time to read? You do, with whttr.
Welcome to The Deep Dive, your shortcut to being well-informed, where we cut through the noise and get straight to the heart of what's truly fascinating. Today, we're particularly excited because we're diving into our Saturday series, Indie Ink Spotlight.
Yeah, this is a great one.
It is a segment built to amplify the bold, emerging voices from the whttr community. And today, we're zeroing in on Blink Blink, a dystopian love story by J.P.S. Stalder.
Yes.
A story that asks, what we're willing to sacrifice to truly see and be seen in a world really designed to keep us profoundly disconnected.
It's more than just a book, isn't it? It's a really compelling look at human connection in a potentially isolating future.
Definitely.
So this deep dive, it'll highlight not just the narrative's emotional resonance, but also, I think, the remarkable journey of its independent author.
Right.
Which is a story in itself. We have some fantastic source material here. And we're ready to explore every facet of it with you.
Absolutely. And the journey behind the book is often as rich as the book itself. For
sure.
And J.P.S. Stalder's is certainly no exception. So he's a California native who moved to the Kansas City area back in July of 2021.
Okay.
From a very young age, he cultivated this deep passion for language, for people, culture, philosophy.
Big stuff.
Yeah. Which eventually led him to get a degree in rhetoric and political science.
Yeah.
And for over 2 decades, he's worked in the government sector.
Right, specializing in grant writing, proposal development, award administration, that sort of thing.
Exactly.
And what's particularly insightful here, I think, is how that background, in structured language and understanding complex systems, it seems to kind of permeate his fiction.
Yeah, you can feel that.
You can feel the precision, right, in his world building, his character development. But what truly anchors his return to fiction after such a long professional career is, well, it's far more personal, profoundly human.
It really is. So, what truly sparked this profound return to fiction after being away for so long? Apparently, after the passing of his father in January 2023, Stalder made this deep commitment, rededicating himself to writing fiction.
Yeah.
He wanted to leave behind a positive, a meaningful legacy for his daughter and his family.
Wow.
Which, you have to admit, is an incredibly powerful drive, right, for any creative endeavor.
Oh, absolutely. It transforms the act of writing into something bigger, more enduring.
Yeah.
And that kind of personal catalyst, it often fuels the most authentic art, doesn't it?
It really does.
And his writing journey, as we know from the sources, it wasn't without its significant past challenges.
Right. What happened there?
Well, he'd actually given up fiction writing for a while. His earlier story, Rain in the City of Angels, got multiple rejections.
Oh, tough.
Yeah, and he felt like a failure. And as, many creatives know, that feeling can be just utterly debilitating.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
Makes you want to just step away.
Yeah.
So it's easy to empathize with that feeling of defeat, wanting to step away after a setback like that. What was the turning point? What brought him back, especially with such renewed vigor?
He came from a really unexpected place, actually, a conversation with a neighbor who also happened to be a fellow author. And this neighbor gave him some incredibly blunt but ultimately liberating advice.
Okay, what was it?
They told him, basically, you need to stop worrying about writing shit. Write shit. Keep writing shit. Just write. You can make it pretty later.
Wow. Straight to the point.
Right. But that seemingly simple phrase, it just profoundly shifted his perspective. It cut through all that self-doubt and perfectionism that can paralyze writers.
That's the kind of tough love you sometimes need, isn't it?
Get it down.
Refine later.
Get it down. And this realization, it came at a really pivotal time in his life. His father's cancer diagnosis.
Oh, wow.
The start of COVID-19, a physical and criminal assault on his wife.
Goodness.
And just a series of other chaotic events over a few years really pushed him.
So writing became a way to cope.
Absolutely. He began writing as a way to process everything. It was like a necessary journey through a deeply personal fire. You know, it wasn't just about crafting a story. It was like catharsis.
I can imagine.
And when he finally finished Blink Blink, his wife had this incredibly strong conviction about it.
What did she say?
She told him quite directly, "You can't wait on this. There are people in the world who need this book now."
Wow, that's powerful support.
Isn't it? That conviction, plus his own desire for legacy, that really propelled him forward.
And it certainly paid off. I mean, he's had some impressive achievements recently, especially for someone who'd once put writing aside.
Absolutely.
He won the Something or Other Publishing's 2024 short story contest, right? First place in historical fiction for Kansas, Ever Bleeding.
That's right. A big win.
And talking about output. Our sources show he wrote something like 350,000 words in 2024 alone.
It's staggering.
That's just incredible. For any writer, let alone an independent one, juggling everything else.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder about the sheer discipline involved.
It really is. It speaks to this like almost obsessive dedication once that creative block was broken.
Yeah.
His debut novel, Blink Blink, a dystopian love story, came out April 12, 2025.
Mm-hmm.
And what's remarkable is the pace he's kept up. His second release, Sentinels in the Oakwood, published with Austin Macaulay, just came out this past week, June 20, 2025.
This past week. Wow, that's an incredible turnaround.
Isn't it, for any author? And he's also openly acknowledged the massive learning curve for self-publishing.
Oh, all the formatting.
Formatting, copywriting, uploading, and especially the marketing. Ugh.
Yeah, the marketing grind.
He even admitted he really dislikes that part of the process, but he overcame it because, as he put it, the alternative could take years.
Right.
And his wife felt the book was needed now.
That urgency.
Yeah. It's just a testament to his determination to get his stories out there.
That dedication is genuinely inspiring. And for those of you wanting to explore more of J.P.S. Stalder's work, you can find him on Instagram at jps.stalder and on Facebook at J.P.S. Stalder. We definitely encourage you to check out his other stories, especially Sentinels in the Oakwood, which is, hot off the presses.
Absolutely worth checking out.
Okay, now let's set the scene for Blink Blink, because the world Stalder builds is so central to this story. What does it look like, this near-future setting? How does it immediately impact the people living in it?
Right. So this is a world that feels, unnervingly close to our own.
Yeah.
It's set in a near future where these AI-powered wearable lenses, just called blinks, they've completely replaced smartphones. Completely.
Wow.
So imagine all digital communication, all searches, every single financial transaction. It's all happening seamlessly, invisibly through something called the feed.
The feed. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar, but amplify.
Exactly. It's an evolution of our own hyper-connected reality, just taken to its seemingly logical yet profoundly controlling extreme.
So it's not just tech. It's a whole societal shift. And critically, following some period of civil unrest, safe speech has become mandatory.
Mandatory safe speech.
Yeah. If you dare to speak critically of the administration or its policies, you get branded a dissident.
Right. And closely monitored.
It paints this picture of a society where, outward conformity is everything.
Mm-hmm.
So within this controlled environment, who is our protagonist, Blair Huxley, how does she navigate this world?
Okay, so Blair is an impoverished painter, and what immediately sets her apart is her defiant choice to live unlensed.
Unlensed, meaning no blinks.
Exactly. She completely refuses to wear them. This choice, while it's deeply principled, it basically disconnects her from the dominant societal feed.
Making her an instant outsider.
Totally. Imagine trying to navigate a world where every transaction, every bit of info, every interaction relies on tech you refuse to use.
Life would be incredibly difficult.
Especially financially, right? She's forced to rely on sympathetic friends and these sort of gray market types, like Tony, the owner of Sweeney's Irish-Italian corner market, just to exist.
Wow.
It's this constant struggle just to carve out a space for herself.
So she's not just off the grid, she's actively rejecting the grid.
Yeah.
In a world built entirely on it.
That's it, exactly.
That must create immense friction. Even simple tasks must be a challenge. What are the repercussions of living unlensed?
Oh, it creates continuous, almost suffocating friction. Her unlensed status leads to these incidents that just spiral out of control.
Like what?
Like getting arrested for disturbing the peace simply because she couldn't send her record to an officer through the feed.
Because she didn't have the tech.
Right. It's a society where your digital footprint is your identity. Without it, you're effectively invisible and therefore suspicious.
That's chilling.
And what's truly fascinating here is how her family history fuels this defiance.
Tell me about that.
Her professor father was murdered for speaking his truth.
Oh my gosh.
And her mother was jailed for protesting. This background just solidifies Blair's deep conviction that, quote, freedom will only endure when people refuse to be silent.
Wow. So her refusal isn't just personal preference.
No, not at all. It's a political statement. It's a legacy of resistance passed down.
That conviction, born from such personal tragedy, that's clearly core to her character, her strength.
Definitely.
So into this really difficult world enters Jax, an affluent art gallery owner. How does his world intersect with Blair's? What does he see in her?
Right. So Jax owns Crush Gallery. He discovers Blair's unsigned paintings, landscapes, city landmarks, pieces featuring iconic St. Louis spots like the Arch, a ballpark, the historic Wadsworth Manor House, through his friend Parker. Initially, Parker just says her art is pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah. Faint praise.
Right. But Jax, with a more discerning eye, notices something deeper, a certain historic quality with a more modern composition.
Interesting. So more than just technique.
Exactly. There's a resonance, a blend of old and new that hints at this powerful, unspoken narrative beneath the surface.
And Jax's own family, the Wadsworths.
Yeah.
They're powerful, influential in St. Louis.
Very much so.
With strong opinions on dissidents and the Safe Speech Act.
Oh, yeah. Very strong opinions.
So this immediately creates this huge tension for Jax, right? He's drawn to Blair and her art, pulling him in a direction that directly challenges his family's whole belief system.
Precisely. The story then blossoms into this really compelling romance. Jax finds himself increasingly drawn to Blair's unique qualities, her odd mix of innocence and honesty, a boldness, he calls it, and her just unapologetic commitment to her unlensed life. He even starts taking off his own lenses for privacy when he's with her.
Whoa, okay, that's significant.
It's huge. A subtle but incredibly significant act of connection, of trust, shows he's willing to step outside his prescribed world for her.
Right. And what about Blair's art during this time?
Well, she's encouraged by her friends, these tattoo artists, Lillian and Tanner, whose own brother is also unlensed, by the way.
Okay. That connection matters.
It does. Yeah. And she begins to create the art that truly burns within her. Raw, unbridled political commentary.
So moving beyond the landscapes.
Way beyond. Think of a choking eagle. Or Mount Rushmore with a toothless grin on Roosevelt.
Wow. Powerful, subversive stuff.
These are no longer just pretty pictures. They're powerful statements.
So she's moving beyond merely beautiful landscapes to something much more provocative and dangerous, given the safe speech laws.
Extremely dangerous.
How does this unsafe art find its voice? How does it impact the world around them?
This unsafe art, she attributes it anonymously to omnis nemo.
Omnis nemo, what does that mean?
It's Latin for every man or no one.
Clever. Anonymous but universal.
Exactly. And it starts to spread as prints. It becomes this powerful, almost underground symbol of dissent.
Art as a weapon.
Yeah, a whisper that becomes a rallying cry. And this raises that important question, right? How can individuality, how can critical thinking survive when freedom of expression is suppressed for safety and common good?
Such a relevant question.
And the book brilliantly explores the power of human connection, of chosen family. Like Blair's friends, Belle, Mia, Lillian, Tanner, even Old Man Agnew.
Old Man Agnew.
Oh, yeah, this sort of pirate character who teaches her to sail and offers his boat as a safe haven.
Wow.
These relationships are critical lifelines. They provide not just emotional support, but actual practical pathways to challenge this pervasive, controlling system.
So it's about how small acts of defiance,
amplified by genuine human bond,
can chip away at these huge power structures.
That's it. It's a really powerful exploration.
It sounds like the narrative truly explores whether love, whether art, can survive the schemes of powerful forces demanding control, and what sacrifices individuals are willing to make for their truth, for freedom. At its heart, it's about finding your authentic voice when the world desperately wants to silence it.
Absolutely.
A story that feels incredibly relevant, doesn't it? To the challenges of our own increasingly digital, often polarized world.
Painfully relevant sometimes.
Okay, now, for a standout moment, something that truly anchors the heart of this story, but, without giving anything away.
Right, no spoilers.
It's a specific toast. Parker, Jax's friend, makes it at a gala fairly early in Jax and Blair's journey. He raises his glass and says, "To unappreciated geniuses, silenced prophets, and the others who have been jailed for speaking their truths."
That's a good one.
It's a line that just lands with this quiet power, really resonates.
Yeah, and what's truly profound about that line is how it encapsulates not just the immediate scene, but the entire ethos of the book.
Right.
It's this powerful reminder that history, it's often written not by the powerful, but by the silenced prophets who, despite everything, hold on to their truth.
That's a great way to put it.
It speaks to that universal struggle, challenging the status quo. Reminds us that courage often lies in just daring to be authentic, even when it's inconvenient or downright dangerous.
Yeah.
And the book elevates art, individual voice, as these powerful tools for resistance. That toast captures it perfectly.
It really does.
It's a sentiment that stays with you, too, challenges you to consider, are we brave enough? Would I be brave enough to be one of them when the stakes are so personal?
That sentiment truly lingers.
Yeah.
After turning the final page, this one kind of settles in your mind.
Yeah.
Like the faint echo of a protest song in a quiet alley.
Oh, nice image.
Yeah. It's quietly bracing, deeply personal, and just a powerful call to stand firm, Find your voice, cherish the messy, vibrant connections that truly make us human. It reminds you that even in the most controlled environments, the human spirit just yearns for authenticity.
Yeah, it does. And that leads us nicely to a thought-provoking question for you, our listener, to maybe carry with you.
Yeah.
In a world that demands conformity, what is the unsafe truth burning within you that yearns to be expressed? What does it truly mean to be seen and to see others in a world that often tries to keep us disconnected?
That's a deep one to ponder. And if you listening are an independent or debut author crafting bold, thoughtful stories like Blink Blink, we would absolutely love to hear from you.
Yes, please reach out.
Our Indie Ink Spotlight series was built specifically to amplify voices like yours, to bring these compelling narratives to a wider audience, and frankly, to celebrate the courage it takes to publish independently.
It's a lot.
It really does. Submitting is easy. Just email us. The subject line should be Community Exchange. And the inbox is whttr@gmail.com.
whttr@gmail.com.
We can't wait to read what you've created and potentially share it with our community.
Definitely.
And just as a final reminder, J.P.S. Stalder's second release, Sentinels in the Oakwood, which we touched on briefly.
The one that just came out.
Yeah, just came out this past week, June 20, 2025. So be sure to check that out as well.
For sure. Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive into J.P.S. Stalder's Blink Blink.
Yeah, thank you.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep reading.